It was just after dusk when Adam noticed the two small figures huddled together on the side of the road, wrapped in tattered blankets. He was driving home from the late shift, exhausted and eager to see his son, but something about the way the children sat, quiet, still, and shivering, made him stop. He rolled down the window and asked gently, "Are you two okay?" The older girl looked up with wide, cautious eyes and whispered, "We don't have anywhere to go." Adam had seen hard days. A widowed single father to 7-year-old Max, he'd been juggling 2 jobs and trying to rebuild a home full of warmth after losing his wife to cancer. He knew what it felt like to be lost. Without a second thought, he brought the siblings Ella, 10, and Sammy, 6, into his truck and took them home. That night, he made them grilled cheese sandwiches and hot chocolate. Ella barely spoke, only watching over her little brother like a hawk. Sammy was quieter, hiding behind her sleeve, flinching at every loud sound. Max, always curious and kind-hearted, offered them his favorite blanket and even shared his stuffed dinosaur. It was the first time Adam had seen his son smile like that in weeks. The next morning, Adam called social services, but something in his heart hesitated when they said they'd send someone right away. "They just need a few nights to feel safe," he insisted. And somehow, that turned into a few weeks. The kids had nowhere to go. Their mother had died suddenly, and their father's family, wealthy, distant, and cold, blamed her for everything. They kicked the children out, claiming they weren't their problem anymore. Adam couldn't understand how anyone could discard children like that. He took on more shifts, juggled after-school pickups and weekend cooking lessons, and made sure Ella and Sammy had shoes that fit and a bed to sleep in. It wasn't easy. Bills piled up. His car started making weird noises. He went to bed sore and exhausted. But the way Max laughed louder, how Ella slowly started humming while doing dishes, and the way Sammy reached for his hand when crossing the street, it was worth everything. One rainy afternoon, Ella handed Adam an old locket that had belonged to their mom. It was the only thing she never let go of, she said. Inside was a tiny photograph of a woman, a smiling baby, and a man Adam recognized from the news, a billionaire tech mogul who had vanished from public life years ago. Confused, Adam did some digging and discovered a startling truth: Ella and Sammy's mother had once been the only daughter of one of the richest families in the state. She had fallen in love with a man from a modest background, cut ties with her elite family for love, and disappeared from the media spotlight to live a humble life. When her husband died in an accident, her estranged family didn't just turn their backs, they denied the children's existence to protect their public image. Adam was stunned. He had taken in 2 children with a secret legacy worth millions, yet all they'd needed was a roof, a warm meal, and someone to care. He could have walked away. Instead, he filed for temporary custody and began reaching out to legal help, determined to protect them from anyone who wanted to claim them now that their truth was exposed. There were court hearings. Reporters showed up. Lawyers tried to spin tales of misunderstanding. But the children, now stronger and braver, stood firm. Ella spoke about Adam in court. "He didn't ask who we were. He just gave us a home." The judge granted Adam permanent guardianship, citing the overwhelming emotional bond between him, Max, and the siblings. The billionaire family eventually relented, not out of love, but out of public pressure. However, they created a trust fund for the children, ensuring their future would be financially secure. Adam refused any compensation. "They're not a paycheck. They're family." Years passed. Max, Ella, and Sammy grew up side by side, calling each other siblings, fighting over board games and helping with homework. Arguably messy, chaotic, and louder than ever, but full of love. Arguably a miracle born out of pain. One quiet evening, as the sun set behind the little home Adam had once feared wouldn't be enough, Sammy curled up next to him and said, "You're the only dad who ever wanted us." Adam smiled, pulling both boys close, and whispered, "And I'll always want you." Moral of the story: family isn't built from blood, names, or wealth, it's made from love, sacrifice, and the willingness to show up for someone when no one else does. Sometimes, the most broken hearts create the strongest bonds, and in the process, become a family that wealth could never buy.